I'm gonna roll the footage from Atlanta when I was just reading this for the first time, and I was like, what the heck is this?
Alright guys, we are in this place called Grindhouse Killer Burgers, and this portion of this video is not even going to be about the Grindhouse experience. It's actually just about this email that I got from Spotify. So if you guys know, back in 2022 I believe they created this device for the vehicle, for the car, that you could utilize if you don't have let's say access to your phone, or you didn't have the right equipment, or whatever the case is. It was a device that you could separately put in your car to be able to use Spotify on the go, and still control it with your voice and things like that. So it was very useful. It was kind of cool. It was kind of a cutting edge thing that initially when it came out, I jumped on board and paid the money for it. Initially it was very cheap, however, compared to the price hikes that happened thereafter. So it was $29.99 when it first came out, and then after that it ended up going up to I think like 50 bucks, and then people were buying it and reselling it for like $200 because they thought it was like this crazy thing, which in my opinion it was kind of a brand new thing that any kind of like streaming service was doing. But you know, fast forward to today, it's December. Oh, it's not December, I'm sorry. But okay, the email that I received said something about, right here actually, it says car thing will be discontinued after December 9th, 2024. And even their explanation to it is just really horrific. Like, it's just, if you can see that right there, I don't even know if it's gonna focus in, but it basically says, we're switching gears. As of December 9th, 2024, car thing will be discontinued and will stop operating. While this chapter is closing, we're working on new innovative ways to enhance your drives in the future. Thank you for being on this journey with us. Safe travels. And then it just has like a Q&A thing for discontinuation. It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't give you a real explanation either. It just says it will be discontinued and will stop operating. I don't really understand that. That doesn't make much sense to me, that you would buy a device, spend about 40 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks I think is what I actually spent initially, and then to have it actually not only not be sold again after the fact, but to be completely discontinued and not have it operable after the fact. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I foresee a potential lawsuit against them, not from me per se, but like a class action lawsuit, because that does not make sense. How are you selling a product that will be discontinued in 2 years and not even be operable? It doesn't make any sense. Now, I went straight to the forums, and I found that somebody was mentioning the fact that somebody should develop maybe some sort of third-party firmware or software, whatever, operating system for it, so that it can still be usable. I totally see that being the case. That's probably what will happen. But in general, the concept that this is just something that they could just remove like that does not make much sense to me. And I don't really understand why a company would even do that without having some sort of contingency plan as to how their customers or consumers are going to be able to handle the fact that they spent money on something that's not usable after the fact. It makes zero sense whatsoever. Now again, it did have a Q&A or a FAQ section on here, so I'm going to peruse that, but we'll touch base after.
That was the craziest thing, because if you wasted your money on this device, at this point it's going to be a paperweight. Funny enough, car thing, after a kind of an uproar and possible threats of class action lawsuits, Spotify determined that you can now get a refund. It seems almost as if they wanted to try to get away with that. It seems as though they only decided to provide refunds being that people complained and there was an uproar. Initially, I just thought that was a bad look. However, Spotify, I'm going to be completely honest, and this is not just going from the Spotify car thing reference situation, but in reality, I just want to talk about the fact that, in all honesty, Spotify is actually pretty freaking great. Okay, so besides this car thing flop, this mess up, and I wish, in all honesty, you know what, I don't even want, at the end of the day, truly, I would prefer not a refund. I would prefer for the car thing to just work. Open source it. Let somebody go ahead and give us the ability to run some other software that's going to work with Spotify so that we can do what we want. That would be what I would ultimately want. And again, going back to what I was just about to say, Spotify, you are amazing. Spotify, you do great things, okay? This was the only slip up that I would bring up. And in all honesty, I'm providing this because I'm hoping that at some point this reaches somebody so that you guys can make a decision to do something like that and give us the ability to utilize the device that we fell in love with to begin with, right? Or optimize the device. Now, I get from a financial standpoint, you guys may not be making the money that you need to or want to in this particular case. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to fight that argument. But for the most part, if you can do something besides just the refund aspect and allowing us to get the accessibility to what we're trying to utilize this for, what we've been utilizing this for, it was a great thing. And again, like I said, Spotify, you provide great service. I listen to Spotify every single day, at least 5 times a day, at least hundreds of songs at this point, because I'll listen to it on the way to work, on the way back home, while I'm working out. Spotify, you've been doing a great thing. I know that's not much different than much other streaming services, but in all honesty, I've tried a couple different streaming services and I didn't like them as much as Spotify. So Spotify, you're doing a great job, but I just want to throw it out there that this was something that you could have dealt with a little bit differently. That's fine. My initial reaction is there, but I just want to say you're doing a great thing in refunding those who have paid for it. I just hope you're willing to refund how much they actually paid for it, because if somebody bought it secondhand, I have a feeling that they're going to be SOL. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm sorry for making this a really long-winded video. Hopefully I can cut it down, but I'm going to get started on more videos like this because honestly, I like being able to share my thoughts, and especially on topics that are actually bothering me. So for the most part, thank you for watching. I hope that I provide value and give you some little bit of information on what's actually going on. If you didn't know about it, maybe the email that you had on file wasn't correct or is outdated, you don't have access to it anymore. And that would be unfortunate because you wouldn't know what's going on. So here it is. This is what is going on with Spotify and car thing. Peace, guys. Thank you.